The Hall of Famer Mike Sexton needs to get lucky. Can he do it?
Pair the 7 or 3, I'll settle for that.
And he's at 5,000, blinds 25 and 50. Mike Sexton, quick fold by him. And now Jesse Martin from L.A. also folding. Jared Greiner going out.
We've seen Daniel raise every time it's folded to him in the small blind, and it appears this time will be no different.
He is the chip leader, and he has raised and will take down this pot without a fight. He's a former ones to watch. There are his mother and father and friends rooting him on. And they're enjoying the action over at the Dr. Pepper bar.
That's so cute that his parents are in the audience, you know? We never see guys with their parents in the audience. Maybe a wife or a few friends or some guy that he owes money, but never parents.
Yeah, it's a great thing. He's a local, and he's going at it again. Pushing with Queen, Jack. Will he get action? Jesse out. So again, Daniel Strelitz winning this pot.
You cashed the 1-drop, right? The year you played it?
I did. It was amazing. They played 9 when there were 10 players left, playing a bubble for 1.2 million. And now I'm one of the 3 short stacks. I'm playing 150 and 300 blinds. And mentally, I'm prepared to last 2 or 3 hours. I said, you know, for $1.2 million, this is going to take forever. You know?
Are you kidding me?
First hand of 10-handed poker. Sam Trickett raised under the gun to 800,000. He had 21 million. Folded all the way around to the big blind, who was a Russian guy. He moved all in for 5 million. Sam shrugged, said, I called, turned up a king-8 offsuit for 4.2 million more. I thought, wow, I can't believe you're going to double this guy up on that hand. And
Mike looking down at his hand, and he's got a pair of kings. Oh boy, the story's going to go on hold with these kings.
And the Russian guy turned up a queen-10 offsuit. Sam had the best hand.
Guess he had a read.
He made 2 8s. The first hand we were in the money.
Mike doesn't care about his story anymore. All he cares about is getting action right now.
I said, Sam, I said, you're always going to be a hero of mine.
Yeah.
Always.
And he's going to get it from Daniel. So we are going to go to the flop. Pair of kings for Sexton, and oh no, an ace, 8-3. Daniel hitting aces, he's going to check it.
I like that Mike is still betting here. You kind of want to bet these kind of flops with everything you raise into a big blind, but Daniel, unfortunately, has connected with the top pair, not going anywhere.
Yeah, made the call, going to the turn. 7, changes nothing. Mike, will he have the wisdom to slow down here? Daniel's checked it again. And yes, very wisely done.
Mike only has about a pot-sized bet left in his stack, so living on the edge right now.
River card, check, check. Mike has got to be wincing about that. He shows the kings. Daniel taking him down with an ace.
Best hand I've seen.
Daniel with close to 7.6 million. Mike down to 735. As 5 players compete at the Commerce Casino.
Daniel Strelitz has barely lost a pot at this final table.
So frustrating for Sexton, going after his second WPT title of the season. You pick up kings and it gets beat. But good defense by him by not losing more.
All in.
Now Jesse Martin's going to push all in with ace-10. Jesse also with under 900,000. Jared going out, Daniel going out. Simeon won't play, so Jesse Martin, who lives in L.A., 36 years old, taking that one down. Back at it, no mistake for Daniel Strelitz, who's the chip leader, and again, he's gonna raise it and get everyone to fold. Now he's aggressive.
I will say it's pretty cool to have someone as aggressive as Daniel be our chip leader, because he just forces the action.
He looks so nonchalant, too. Like he doesn't really care, like he just rolled out of bed. He must be jumping up and down inside, though. It's been raised by Daniel again. King Jack. Now it's up to Jared, who has a 9-10, has some money in there already. And yes, he completes the call. So King Jack versus 9-10, here we go with a flop.
8-5 deuce, not much for either player. That's actually not a bad flop for Jared, but there's also not enough that he can really continue with against a chip leader who he knows will continue the aggression on multiple streets. So a bet from Daniel and a fold from Jared. Our chip leader continues to stack.
Everything going the way for the 27-year-old. He says he's been underestimated at tables because of his youthful appearance.
He does look very young. He's the kind of guy that walks into a casino and immediately gets carded. And then the guard says, whoa, 27. Hold on, let me call somebody over and make sure this isn't fake.
$1 million for the winner here tonight. Everyone folding around to Jesse, Martin.
All in.
He's gonna shove all in.
Wow. That seems like a little much for Jesse to be shoving, but I guess he figures he can't raise this button into Daniel without facing an all-in.
Like $1 million, right?
So he says, okay, I'm all in myself. If you got a hand that can call with, good for you.
All right.
Everyone going out, so this time he'll be successful with that move. Our chip leader still Daniel Strelitz, close to 7.8 million in chips. Mike Sexton down to 635,000. We had 521 total entries for the event. We're down to these 5. Quick fold by Sexton. Jesse also going out. Jared out, and now Strelitz, the chip leader. Will he do it again? But of course, raises it up to 165.
Simeon's like, are you even looking at your cards before you raise me?
It's just great example of power poker by a chip leader. The local loving this moment.
I feel like the buzzards are circling.
Yeah. I was feeling like that a minute ago.
Mike hanging on there by dental floss. That's about it.
So many people on this table are short. The energy is kind of subdued right now.
All right, well, Daniel finally going to rest, take a break, leaving up to Simeon, who has a pair of deuces.
He's looking at the 2 short stacks, trying to decide, am I going to raise small or am I just going to go all in?
All in?
And I like the choice he made here.
Well, he puts the pressure on, puts them all in.
Jesse with a decent hand, but I don't think he can call here with Mike being so short right next to him.
Yeah, do you want to call it off for a race at this point? Especially because the difference between 5th and 4th is over 70,000. And he elects to make the fold.
And there's the advantage of just going all in, Vince. If Simeon had raised small there, I think that Jesse would have gone all in over the top. But because he just shoved, Jesse can't really call while Mike is still shorter and at risk of going out.
All right, Daniel this time with an awful 9-3. Even he won't play that hand. Simeon also going out.
I'm all in.
And now Sexton with ace-jack. He's going to shove all in.
Let's go!
Will he get some action with it? Does he want some action with it? Nope. He'll just take it down. Take the antes, take the blinds. Mike lives to see another hand.
I know we're usually supposed to be impartial, Vince, but I'm throwing that out the window tonight. It's all about Mike Sexton.
Mike down to about 640 in chips. Daniel with about 7.9. All right, we go right back down to the felt. Simeon, Mike out, everyone going out, and now Jared Greiner with a pair of 6s.
Race?
And he will raise to 125. Right behind him, Daniel has picked up the weapons of mass destruction.
What doesn't Daniel have?
He makes it 350 to go.
And this really sucks for Jared because he's 3rd in chips. There are a couple of guys really short, but he's got a quality hand and he's stuck out of position facing a re-raise against the chip leader. So he's going to call and go to a flop, but he needs to proceed carefully.
Yeah, I'd love to hit a set. Can he get that? No, it's a queen 3-3. Tricky flop for him.
This is not a fun spot to be in for Jared. You often suspect you're good on such an uncoordinated texture, but you wonder how you can continue against someone you expect to fire multiple barrels.
Daniel's going to bet at 225.
Nice sizing from Daniel, bets real small. Allows Jared to believe that perhaps he's just trying to buy it cheap.
Oh, Danger everywhere. And finally, Jared making a good laydown right there. Daniel Strelitz with another one. He is dominating this final table.
I mean, at this point, Daniel has in his stack what the other 4 players have combined in theirs.
Down to the money pit, a couple folds. And now Strelitz with a jack 8 of clubs. And of course, he puts in a raise again, makes it 115.
Simeon's got a real hand in the small blind, but he goes out. You see him really avoiding conflict with the chip leader while there are 2 short stacks at the table, and says, look, I'm just not going to get involved with Daniel unless I've got a really strong hand.
He's pounding on us like Mike Tyson in his prime, isn't he? You guys might be too young to even know who Mike Tyson is.
The guy in The Hangover?
Yeah, that
Ah, yeah.
the guy with the tiger in that movie.
Daniel's got lots of chips and quick wits. Although Mike Tyson had a great saying that I think kind of applies to poker, which was everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face.
That's right, he did say that. It's great. A raise by Strelitz.
I'm on.
And Mike coming back over the top.
Let's go!
Queen Jack, he's got all in.
Jesse Martin with King Queen suited right behind him, but I'm not sure he can call. No, he's going out. So the aggression there for Mike Sexton pays off. Daniel Strelitz is out. He gets Jesse to fold a better hand. He's going to take down that punt.
I wanted to like retweet it and comment, but he was on Twitter too, so that's kind of...
With a nothing hand folds, Jesse Martin with jack 8 of diamonds.
Jesse's got about 17 blinds, sort of an awkward stack.
All in.
Wow.
And he's going for all of it.
He's going to push it with jack high. Jared behind him with a pair of 7s.
Jared with the decision. Huh.
No.
He's out. Okay. Daniel.
He's also out. And Simeon folding, so big-time cash player Jesse Martin, the local, taking it down with jack high. Very aggressive. Nicely done.
Well, I know those look like big shoves, Vince, but I think that Jesse is aware if he open raises, one of those stacks behind him is just going to come over the top and force him to a decision, so he takes that play away from them.
I'm all in.
Smart poker now. Mike Sexton's pushed all in with an ace-6.
Right, here we go.
I called.
Oh, no, don't do it.
Daniel with the insta-call with ace-10.
Didn't want to see that hand.
I didn't really want to call.
Mike in big trouble.
Strauss is like, I didn't want to call.
Vince, I need help, Vince.
Oh, boy.
Calling out for your help here, Vince.
Show me some love with hearts.
You can do it, Mike. Perhaps.
All right. What do all those guys say, one time? Is that what they say?
I think that is what they said.
I need it here, one time.
Here we go with the first 3. It's a king, queen 3.
Not a great start.
Jack of hearts for fun.
Could be worse.
Turn card is a 7. The Hall of Famer Mike Sexton needs to get lucky. Can he do it?
Pair the 7 or 3, I'll settle for that.
Pull the rabbit out of the hat. Come on. I mean, let's see it.
Mike calling for a chop. 7 or 3 would do it.
It's a 3.
Hey, a chop. Still alive.
3s, king, queen, ace plays.
Yeah, lucky hit for Mike. Lucky move for Mike Sexton. Chopping that pot right there in the middle. 5 players remain. Mike is still here. Stay tuned. We're coming back on the LAPC in just a moment.
This guy's asked for a 6, and that's just getting too greedy, you know?
And he's explaining how greed kills in poker, and he's not a greedy guy. That's Mike Sexton. Quick drop there.
You can tell he's done this before. He knows if he asks for the 3-outer, he's going to get punished. But if you ask for the chop, the universe will reward you.
Yeah, the poker gods. All right, so round to Jared. Queen, 8 of hearts. He's going to raise. Daniel going out with ace high.
I'm a little surprised that Daniel didn't come after Jared there. He's been winning every pot.
And the Bulgarian, Simeon, ace, deuce of diamonds. He's going to play. Flop is a 10, 7, 3.
Not much for either player.
Simeon's going to check it. And now Jared with nothing but queen high.
180.
And guts will bet 180,000. Simeon quickly folds his hand. And that's a big smile for Jared. Smile of a man that took it down on a semi-bluff.
Shit, that was the easiest spot I won all night. Can't believe it.
Tell the truth, have you ever given a walk to a short stack in your lifetime?
Oh, all the time.
You haven't done it here.
Yeah, Mike a little bitter about the aggressiveness of Daniel. He's so right, this Daniel just keeps pushing.
I mean, it pains me a great deal too, but all the time.
I believe it.
Fold by Greiner. Action on Daniel. Look at this. With just a 4-3, a junk hand, he'll make it 1:15 to go. But Simeon behind him with a pair of sixes.
Simeon has really avoided playing hands against Daniel. Finally going to take a flop in position. Mike now with ace-9 suited.
Going to release that. Now Jesse with a pair of fives.
Man, another decision. Now, does Jesse want to call or go all in? Thus far, he's been all in a lot pre-flop, but just going to call.
Two mid pairs. Up against a 4-3, and the flop's at 8-8-4. Jesse with the fives checking. Now Daniel caught a piece of that. He will make a continuation bet, 180.
It looks like a good board for Daniel, but he's actually in third place.
Simeon with a quick call.
And Jesse, kind of an awkward spot here.
Yeah, he's on the short stack. That would be a nightmare. Great fold by him.
Yeah, very disciplined fold there.
It's a two-way action. Simeon out in front, and he's staying out in front with his jack of hearts on the turn. Daniel losing interest checks. And Simeon will make a bet of 275.
It's a small bet from Simeon, trying to get a little value from a worse hand and block 6 out draws from getting to the river for free.
Now, Daniel hates to get robbed. He's thinking, what does this guy really have? And he makes this call. Down to the river we go. It's a 5. They both check, and Daniel finally losing the pot.
The 5 on the river would have connected with Jesse's pair, but I'm sure once he sees Simeon's pocket sixes, he feels pretty good about his fold.
Not really. You feel bitter because you could have outdrawn the guy.
But in the results-oriented world, he's furious.
All right, a little rest coming, I feel it.
What are you going to do? Anyway, Daniel Strelitz out in front with close to 8.2. Mike down to 685. And the guy that's controlling the game is Strelitz, the young guy from Torrance, California. Just dominating tonight. No real adversity for him so far as he folds this hand. And now Simeon also going out. Sexton, can't pick up a hand. Now Jesse Martin with a queen 6.
On.
Whoa, that seems a bit much.
Well, I was just hoping that Jared has nothing and he can quickly get this. But Jared does have a pair of eights.
I call.
And he will make this call.
That's twice now that Jared has woken up with a real hand, blind versus blind, against a Jesse shove.
Call.
And this time, Jesse at risk of elimination.
Who are you rooting for, Mike?
Jesse being a dog at this point, but not out, of course. Let's go to the flop. It's a king, king 4, no help for Jesse.
Very good looking flop for Jared here. Jesse starting to collect his things.
Oh boy, he's getting up. Turn card, and that's a 4.
Jesse looking for a queen for the win, or a 4 for the chop.
What would be funnier?
Dude, just wanted to just...
Jesse, the big time cash game player, on the ropes right now, a big dog. He needs to strike lucky, but he does not make it happen. It's an ace of hearts. Jesse Martin out in 5th place, gonna take home $230,000. Let's go see what Jesse has to say about being dismissed from the table.
A little bit of ICM suicide right there.
Jesse, great run here at the LAPC. You don't play a lot of tournaments. Does that go into your thinking when you come in here against tournament players? You're mostly a cash game player.
I don't know if it went into my thinking. I was focused and ready to play this tournament. I don't really know if I made mistakes at the final table. I mean, I definitely made 2 plays that were extra loose. I had my reasons for them, and usually they work. I thought I made some good plays and some good reads, but yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed the tournament. The final table was fast, and it just didn't work out for me.
Well, again, great run and congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
He's got an attractive queen, jack of spades, and he will raise.
Oh, those suited Broadway hands always look so good, play so well. Nothing but upside.
Couple falls, but Daniel waking up with a pair of 4s.
Daniel with a real hand in the big blind, gonna take a flop. It's our chip leader versus our second in chips.
Flop is a 10-5 deuce. No help for Simeon. Daniel's going to check into him.
It's a pretty nice flop for Daniel's fours. Simeon gonna check behind here. I expect him to bet if there's a spade on the board, but as is, I like his check.
7 on the turn. No help for Simeon.
Again, a pretty good looking card for Daniel, and he wants to get some value and block his opponent from seeing a free river, so he fires out a bet. Simeon quickly folds, and Daniel collects yet another.
Yep, there's Daniel's family in the audience, chuckling it up. Nice control by Simeon, though. Not to get too involved. He just has a great strategy against Daniel. Does not want to get involved with big pots with that guy.
Come on.
Mike Sexton picking up ace-king, has shoved all in. They get action with it, not so far.
Simeon's going away with queen-9 in the big, and Mike's gonna take down that pot.
Daniel has raised with a king-10. The Bulgarian Simeon going out. Mike also going out. Jared down with ace-9. We'll make that call.
He's gonna take a flop against our chip leader out of the big blind. So heads up. And it is ace-9 deuce, all hearts.
Aces and nines there for Greiner. He's gonna check it.
It's a good flop for him, but he still needs to be cautious, playing against the chip leader and with the 3-heart flop.
Daniel bets 75 with no heart. Call by Jared. Turn card is a king. That gives Daniel kings now. Greiner's going to check. Neither player has a heart. And our chip leader will continue to bet. A little $100,000 bet.
Okay. I think the Daniel is just trying to get a little value out of a 9 or against maybe a king-high flush draw.
River card. Another heart. That's going to be a scare card for both players. And they both check. And Greiner's got to be tickled pink that he won after that last heart coming out there.
You can see how relieved he is that Daniel checked behind. Woo!
Where's your bet on the river? Can't believe you didn't bet that river.
Simeon going out. Sexton out. Now Jared Greiner, he completes the call.
It's on you, Daniel.
We have a non-raised pot.
For the first time.
I'm so happy right now.
And the flop is a jack 4 deuce.
Good looking flop for Daniel here. Queen high flush draw, backdoor straight draw.
Jared will bet this with his queen 9, 100,000, and Daniel's called. Turn card's 9, hits Jared.
That's the card that Jared was looking for. And it's one that Daniel is going to take an opportunity to bluff on. Jared not going anywhere. Makes this call.
River card is a deuce. Pairs the board, no help to Daniel.
Safe looking card for Jared thus far. Daniel has followed through on his bluffs.
Getting out betting chips again. Yes, he'll bet. He'll try to take a steal here with 400,000.
I have a deuce.
Now he's a little worried that Daniel has a deuce somehow, but Jared also knows that there's a lot of missed draws that Daniel can have here, so does he want to make this call with a 9?
I feel like you're not bluffing right now. For once.
Well, it's unraised before the flop, too. So you could be playing with, well, you just never know with this guy. He could be playing anything, anytime.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tricky, but this would be a nice solid call if he should make it. And he is going to make the good call.
Figured it was a 9.
Yeah.
Nice hand from Jared there. Bets when he didn't have very much, and then when he turned a bluff catcher, he correctly checked the Daniel twice and caught him bluffing.
Jared going away.
Over to Daniel in the small blind. So far, he has been relentless with his aggression into Simeon Naydenov. Simeon here with a 9-8. He's mostly let Daniel get away with this blind versus blind aggression, but here he's going to make the call and take a flop in position.
And the flop is an ace 7-4, no help to either player.
A little surprised that Daniel has checked this board thus far. He has followed through with most of his pre-flop raises. Simeon senses that something's a little wrong here, checks behind, and Daniel turns a gut shot straight draw to the king. Going for the delayed continuation bet.
And that is just enough to get Simeon to muck his hand. Daniel Strelitz can do no wrong tonight, extending the chip lead. Right now we have 4 players battling for this championship and $1 million first place prize. Daniel Strelitz is the major chip leader with about 7.6. Mike Sexton there showing his son Ty.
Ty, you got to go to work here. We're not doing very well. Come on, you can do this. Time for a rush.
Wearing the championship belt he got in Montreal earlier this season.
Let's see if Mike can stick around and turn this around. Action going on Strelitz, the chip leader. And he's going to muck this one. And now Simeon with a queen 7 also folding.
I'm all in.
Mike, he's gone all in.
All right, let's see what we got. I've been lucky in these spots so far, but not this time. That's a pretty bad hand.
It is.
So Mike sees a picture of his son on his phone, and maybe that's the good luck charm.
Not as bad as it gets to call an all-in, I think.
Lines are now up to 30 and 60,000 with a $10,000 ante.
10, 30, 60. I guess that benefits me. Can't get it too high. I wish we were playing 600,000 blind right now.
Yeah.
Mike just won a pot, but then the blinds go up and he's right back where he started.
Action on the Bulgarian. He's going to fold to now Sexton. He's got the kings again.
Hey, hey.
I'm on.
He's got the kings. He's gone all in.
Call.
Oh,
Daniel with a quick insta-call with ace-7.
yeah, real quick call from ace-7 there. Daniel behind, looking for those 3 outs.
It's the same exact hand he beat me on before. I had 2 kings, he had ace-7 offsuit. Come ace a3.
Yeah, I think it was ace-4, but it's all the same, basically.
Can lightning strike twice here.
Don't worry about this, Mike. You have the second best hand in all of Texas Hold'em. All you.
I think I'm gonna hold this time.
Yeah, there you go. You're gonna hold this time.
Staying positive. Here we go with the flop. Let's see what his kings do. Oh no, ace-jack-7 on the flop.
And there is an ace on the board. And suddenly Mike is drawing very thin for his tournament life. He's gonna need runner straight or a king.
He needs a king. Or 10 queen.
Just a queen or a 10 and give me a little extra sweat.
It's just tough to crack this Daniel's luck.
9 of clubs on the turn, no help, and so a king and only a king on the river will save Mike Sexton's tournament.
Pretty amazing. Same hand twice he beat me.
Pretty close. Mike Sexton needs the miracle on his own show. No, an ace hits on the river. It's not going to happen for Mike.
Mike Sexton gonna be our 4th place finisher, taking home just over $300,000 for his 2nd WPT final table of this season.
What can you say? The ambassador of poker has to say goodnight. Huge tournament for him. A standing ovation for Mike Sexton as he waves goodbye. We're watching one of the masters of poker play a fine game. Let's talk to Mike.
Half this room hates me.
I don't hate you.
Mike, you moved up from your starting chip position, chopped out a little 70,000 more with that split pot. But what does it feel like to have this kind of support in the room and in the poker community that you've had behind you today?
No, it was very nice, and you know, it's just thrilling to get to a final table. As you said, I could have gone out in 5th place, I could have gone out in 6th, ended up going out in 4th. Ironically, I had 2 kings twice against him, and he beat me both pots. So that was pretty unusual. It just shows you, I think destiny's on his side.
Daniel's run pretty well at this final table. You think anybody's going to be able to stop him?
Yeah, actually, I think Jared could possibly stop him if he can win another pot or 2 off him. He plays good, too, but they're just terrific players. They really are great players, and they deserve to be where they are right now playing for this title, so I wish them all luck. And, you know, it was a pretty good run, just didn't quite get there.
You got to go back to work?
I'm not going back to work. Tony can do it.
Thanks, Mike.
I'm taking the night off. I'm going to the bar.